Hi, ever heard the work An Inquiry to the Good? Or about the logic of the place of nothingness? All of these are done by Nishida Kitaro, and in this video, we'll be talking about him. Now, who is Nishida Kitaro? He is well known for establishing in Japan the creative discipline of philosophy as practiced in Europe and the Americas. Why? What happened before him? In this video, we will tackle about the external influences Nishida grew up with, and as well as his educational background and career. Before all else, Nishida was born on May 19, 1870, in the village of Unoke, on the Sea of Japan, just north of the city of Kanazawa. From the day May 19, 1870 onwards, fell into the days of the Meiji era, which is 1868 and lasted up to 1912, when Japan had reopened to the world after 2.5 centuries of relative isolation and was undergoing a revolutionary Europeanization of its political, educational, and cultural institutions. Why? Why Japan had to have relative isolation from the rest of the world? Well, during the 17th to 19th century, Japan adopted a policy of isolating itself from the rest of the world. This period of national isolation is called sakoku, which literally means chained country. Now, whoever tries to leave the country will be granted death.
Nice.
This spanned up to 220 years until the Meiji era. This sakoku policy was enacted by the shogunate, who were military leaders by heredity. There was an emperor in this time, but the ones who took hold of the military were the shoguns. And holding control of the military means holding control of the country. So technically, emperors are just rulers by name, but the shoguns are actually holding the real power through their military. And so they enacted the sakoku policy in order to remove foreign influence, may it be religious and colonial, primarily from the Portuguese and Spain, since the shoguns felt threatened. I mean, look at their governance here in the Philippines by the Spaniards,
Consumatum est!
right? And so, Japan, during the Meiji era, reopened itself to the world because of the Perry mission, led by American Commodore Matthew Perry, who persuaded the Japanese trading industry to reopen in order to benefit, not just the two nations, not just Japan and America, but as well as the neighboring ones, for let's say China. With reluctance, Japan opened its ports for modern trade, and when it did, it took advantages of the new access to modern technological developments. Moreover, Japan modernized its military and rose quickly to the position of the most formidable Asian power in the Pacific. Consequently, the shogunate power weakened, and the emperor gained formal control of the country. Hence, the modernization or the enlightenment of Japan. Now, Nishida was born on May 19, 1870, on the early years of the Meiji era. With Japan, which had just reopened to the world, he studied in Kanazawa for high school. It is where he has taught of Chinese Confucian, Neo-Confucian, and Taoist classics. It is also where he had learned to read English and German languages, wherein he attempted to learn the works of Hegel and Kant. He had a friendship with D.T. Suzuki, who is well known for being an American Japanese Buddhist monk, who is also an atheist, philosopher, religious writer, and translator, and both of them dropped out Nishida and Suzuki. After a year, Nishida enrolled himself to Tokyo Imperial University, a top-type university by the Japanese government. This university is focusing on its support on international students and is well known for being most selective and prestigious school in Japan and as of the year 2021. It is the first out of 744 universities that had ever existed in Japan. There is no doubt this school plays a vital role in Nishida's endeavors. However, we must bear in mind that Nishida enrolled in this university as a limited status student only. This means that he was allowed to borrow books from the university library but had to sit in the corridors outside the main reading room, and they were given less attention by the professors. And at the end of their studies, these limited status students will only be just given certificates, not a high education degree. Why? Perhaps because of him being a dropout student before. And so, this was not a problem for Nishida. He gave himself a boost of confidence while not having friends at the university. He wrote in his diary, "In sharp contrast to my higher school days, when I did a lot of things and had many happy memories, I didn't form a close rapport with professors, nor did I make friends during my university days. Instead of socializing, I went to the library every day, read books alone, and thought on my own." With him always reading books, he studied Kant, Hegel, Schopenhauer under the first philosophy teachers of Japan. After graduating in 1894, he held teaching positions at several provincial high schools and universities. He first taught German and ethics, but when he published his philosophical essays, which was his Inquiry to the Good, this work he gained recognition of the philosophical circle and had secured a position at Kyoto Imperial University. Since Japan had just reopened from the world, Nishida focused himself on the books that made their way to Japan. He wrote essays from the ideas of the Neo-Kantians, Josiah Royce, Henry Bergson, Hermann Lotze, Husserl. These essays were collected into books that investigated various topics such as art and morality. He became influential to the school and had attracted students who were soon philosophers themselves, such as Tanabe Hajime, Koki Shozu, and many more. And not only that, his works became the foundation of Kyoto School of Philosophy. Now, Nishida Kitaro became very influential. He published his books and was an advocate for academic freedom. All of these are because of him pioneering the harmony between the Western and Eastern cultures. How? By contemplating the issues in the Eastern philosophy by the light of Western philosophy. That would be all about Nishida Kitaro's educational and career background. See you next time.